If you don't follow, I will mark you wrong. I will give you 0 mark. Okay, take note. Okay, this paper will be 25 mark, 20 mark, right? No question. I will start with a new subject today, right? Okay, today the postgraduate diploma in project management, the module we are going through is project management tools and technique. All right. So an introduction of the tools and technique. Okay. Section objective to explore value and management tools, to access common tools, and to consider interface with other tools for improvement. So let's look at it. The common tool we have is a lot of all this term, team and team building, value analysis, fast and value function cost, everything. Right, design cost and design to objective. This one will be explained in the next few slides. Right, other tools, they are available in the market. Okay, economic value added, excellent model, activity-based costing, TQM, and many Kaizen. There's a continuous improvement system, Kaizen Blitz step changes, right? And also lean. That means to say you cut waste, right? So in TQM, there are a lot of procedure you need to follow, but TQM is a very big subject, right? Most of us will do in the construction-related industry, we use activity-based costing. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, for common tool, other tools in practice refer to this BSEN 12973-2000, the value management benchmark, okay, by this writer. All right, if you have time to go and access to it. Okay, common tool, we have all this note. Okay, for example, selecting team and all this sort of thing. This one will already cover in your management paper. Okay, you understand the facilitator, often Sharpie or coordinator, right? All these are terms, all right? So Babin roles and characteristics, I think I don't want to explain further because you get yourself confused, right? I don't want to do this because this is a not common subject that we do in construction. Okay, what is the characteristic of Babin is all here. Babin role is monitor, teamwork, implement the reliable and turn to action complete. All these are the assignment given in the construction industry, right? What's your, as a team worker, what should you do? Okay, what is a monitor evaluator? That means you look at the judgment of the work, whether it's overrun or delay, etc. You critically analyze the schedule against the real time, right? So all these things will be so-called people appointed within the project group, and they have the duty. For example, in the organization of construction industry, all right, the top of the construction site will be the project manager. Project manager followed by each specific engineer. Could be civil engineer, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer. From there down the line will be the supervisor and the construction worker, right? So what you need to do is, for example, monitor evaluator. So what is the role? That one related to project engineer, electrical engineer, whatever. So he will monitor the job to that aspect, whether it is on time, overrun the cost or whatever. So this is one of the example in Belvin role and characteristics. All right. So team building address as why might a multidisciplinary team of leaders have difficulty reaching consensus? How well might a team worker implement the cope with facilitation role? Right. For this one example, the team leader is very difficult because you end up in the construction field, there are many types of people, okay, many races, multiracial, especially in Singapore, multiracial people. You're going to work with various race and also their thinking and concept and your experience is very different. So as a leader of a construction team, how are you going to manage, right? This one we will talk in later subject, or not in this paper, other management paper. Okay, how well might a team worker or implementer cope with the facilitation? So if you are the implementer, will be something like project engineer, project supervisor, etc. So when you are given a schedule, how are you going to implement? Okay, take note. Okay, let's show your photo first. This Misma will Carla will take your photo. Please show your face, please. Okay, show your face. Bopati. Bakati Sakana. Bopati, where's your face? Jose Bravo. Okay, so you can see that in project construction, there are a lot of things to monitor. So these are the so-called team building or work group to do the assessment, to monitor the project timeline, and to monitor the cost. All right. So value engineering and is called the organization and organized creative approach using functional and economic design. Aim is to increase the value of so-called value added subject. Critical review of existing solution, thus develop proposal and marker retain the authorities. That means the leader will attain the authority. What is this value engineering or value analysis? Basically, you come up with a schedule. Okay, you ask yourself this question. Does this schedule can be shortened? Does this schedule enough manpower to make sure it completed on time? Does the schedule increase the cost? Right. So you have to analyze and check whether the whole setup, the whole planning is worth the while for the company to be more efficient, be more effective. Right. This is the value added. Right. You critically review of the existing solution. So when you come up with the added value solution, what is the outcome and how to take from there your experience or your so-called your existing solution, right, can be used as a foundation for future project planning. All right. So teamwork is very important so that end of the day, we can work as a team. All right. To come up with a more effective proposal that make the company more stable, more income. All right. In that aspect. So you can see that under British system 12973, preliminary phase you select is the same as PMI, Project Management Institute, same way. All right. The preliminary phase, you have to look at the sponsor, you have to look at the leader. All right. Who is the sponsor? Who is the project manager? And what are the subject? That means method of statement. All right, you come up with the method of statement of your project. Right, planning, you have to establish a planning team. Then you will do the job according to the contract timeline and contract costs. Right, after you get all these things up already, then you start gathering data, assembly, comprehensive information. That means to say your previous job, project experience, data, all this can be input to the new project that you have tendered, and you do a comparison and come out with the most efficient and effective scheduling, cost, manpower, material, etc. Right? So functional analysis express the need as a function and assess cost. So functional analysis is talk about each department in terms of their function, whether it's sufficient in manpower to cater for the function of the department, and also assess the cost incurred. So normally these people are engineer and manager. Okay. So you can see that there are few so-called, in terms of value engineering, there are few steps. First, gathering idea, create, okay, gather and create idea, right? Evaluation of solution, evaluate ideas and combination of idea, development, right, of proposal, develop to satisfy functional performance, specification, evaluate quality, economics, and risk. Presentation of proposal, obtain decision from the decision maker, implement, assess actual result, compare with prospective result authority. That means to say you come up with the plan, everything all done up already, you present to your managing director or the general manager or the director to tell them the implementation, the process and timeline, all right, and what is your estimate return for this project, right? All these things will be done during the presentation. Most probably the presentation person will be the project manager, supported by the project engineer or project engineer or other discipline engineering head. Okay. So this is one of the example value engineering. The rest, fast, all these things, we can skip. Value engineering is more important. Later, I will have a PowerPoint slide to show you the detail of it after this course or this subject, right? So fast engineering, I don't want to talk about because this one we don't practice in the market. Okay. Suggested, functional, all this, no, right? So this one also I will cut short. We have the Dell Isola AG. This one I will do a presentation, the new slide. Okay. So all these things I don't want to talk about. Okay. All this make no sense in what we have practiced in today's world. Okay, summary, all this is all about the same. All right. Critical value system, the system that underpins decision making. What factor influence value? Again, is about value engineering, value analysis. Consider mechanism to assemble client value, okay, comparison, quality system, everything. So you can see that doing a project, a planning project, you can use a lot of tools, but use something that you have a familiar with. Okay. Okay. And again, we can see that there's quality, cost, and time. This is what they call critical value system, or they call it triple constraint in project management. Okay. So value measure, pair comparison, right? So there is a schedule, compare and weigh how is the impact, all these things. What job you've done, does it worthwhile to do it, right? Okay. So functional performance, okay. Expect user need in terms of functional requirement without reference to technical solution. All right. So consider smart implementation. All right. So this one I leave it to you. I think I will go through the slide that I have prepared for you. Okay. Okay, what we have here, we talk about value engineering. All right. Value engineering is quite commonly used in construction, in engineering company, all right, and also in so-called the design of an product. For example, a mechanical equipment. For example, in a control system, instrumentation, building automation. These are all can be classified under value engineering, where in a value engineering is a method of systematically increasing the value of production. I mean, whatever you do, okay, you estimate your planning is, I make this product, I construct this so-called building, it cost me 10 million, right? And how am I going to improve that I can eventually finish the building at a cost of 9.5 million? How am I going to do it? These are called value engineering. Okay. In construction, value engineering can help project stakeholder identify alternative approach that lower cost, reduce efficiency, and increase functionality. That means one worker last time do 8-hour job, but now one job, but now one worker can, within 8 hours of work, they can finish 2 jobs. That means their function of their job have doubled. Can you do that? No? Of course you can, but you depend on the planning stage. All right. The idea of value engineering emerged during World War II, where the widespread of shortages led engineer Roland D. Mao to establish a method of developing low-cost alternatives. With the construction industry facing labor and material shortage in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, there have been a better time to consider the benefit of value engineering in construction. Okay, in today's world, Singapore example, we are going for more so-called BIM system, more advanced way of construction, of building, of infrastructure, all right? And we are trying to do that to optimize the cost, right? Labor cost, optimize the material use, etc. Okay, this is the way forward in today's world. right? So 6 phases of applying this methodology to any construction, right? So Lawrence Miles codified his value engineering approach in 1947. This method is preserved today by the American Society of American Value Engineer. The organization worked to educate and train professionals in the process of value engineering, which they break down into 6 key phases. Okay, the approach is known as value methodology, which involves information gathering, functional analysis, creativity, innovation, evaluation, development, and presentation. All right. The goal of this process is to provide alternative approach to construction to increase the value. A common misconception about value engineering is that it is simply reducing the project scope. But when you look at the formula of the value, the idea fall apart. Not reducing the scope, but enhance the scope. All right, enhance in a way that okay, your scope of work is this much. Can you use lesser manpower? Can you use mechanized automation to do the project scope instead of human? Human cost is very expensive, right? You buy a machine to do the human job. That means you go into robotic technology. And this technology, maybe at the initial capital spending, you need to spend 10,000, for example. But you do many projects, you recover back. That means to say your ROI, return on investment, have increased, have improved. Then without using manpower, then you have lesser problem of manpower utilization, manpower recruitment, and manpower management and discipline. So you only manage a machine only, see. So this will be a value and engineering aspect of it, all right? So there are 6 phases, as what just now we have said. Okay, information gathering, functional analysis, creative and innovation, evaluation, development, and presentation. During this process, the value engineering, all right, help the key stakeholder. That means people like in the construction industry, the project manager, the project director, architecture, or in the construction side, like you say, contractor, construction manager, to make informed decision about the best approach to building. Right? What I say here is, if you use this 6 steps, you can come out with a better informed decision-making process. That means you know what is going to happen. You analyze it, everything, and you come up with this, the best approach to building construction. Okay? Here is some of the information, like for example, information gathering. Determine the owner intention for each aspect of the project. And the key question is, ask, what is your goal? What is your objective? What is your strategic goal, right? And from there, you look at the functional analysis, explore project detail to find opportunities to change. Okay, the key question is, what does it currently do and need to do? Okay, just an example. Oh, so you have to come up with the functional analysis. You explore each step of the work to find opportunity to improve. Okay, like for example, you are eating your lunch. Okay, normally you use your hand. Okay, so can you currently you use your hand, but can you use even your hand can do it faster? So you explore the detail of how you take the food, how you swallow the food, right? How you take the food from the packet or from the bowl, from the plate, you put it into your mouth. How fast, right? And what the question asks is, what does it currently do and need to do, right? Currently you take out the Coke food, you munch it in your hand, soften it, then you put it in your mouth. Can I be more faster in doing this? What an opportunity for change, okay? Because you must think, after you eat, use your hand, okay, finish everything. You have to wash your bowl, wash your plate, and wash your hand, right? That is a lot of time wasted. So if you can make it more efficient in eating your food, like for example, you use a spoon or forks, okay? Maybe traditional, your culture, you don't want to use that. But if you think as a project scope of work, so you find that the opportunity is when I use my scope, my spoon and so-called forks, and my plate are all polystyrene plate. That means to say after eating, I throw away. No need to wash, no need to clean. My hand are also no need to clean because all is clean already. So the time to wash your hand, everything got cut down. That means your meal, instead of 1 hour eating, you can reduce to half an hour, finish, and you no need to wash. You wrap it up and throw in the rubbish dump. You see? So that is the opportunity where you analyze the functional step of what you do, and you cut down the time, and you have more time to rest. Maybe you want to take a half an hour nap, okay, in that aspect. Okay, so next one will be creativity and innovation. Brainstorm alternative approach to meeting your building needs. Okay, what other options are there? It could be the design, the architect design using software approach. But their design is go into 2 dimensions. Now, latest market, they have a 3-dimension software to develop, to build your building into a virtual building where you can see every corner of the building. And this is where your building will be more efficient, more effectively use of material. These are the options that you can consider. Okay, then you have to consider whatever your propose on your creativity or your innovation. Is it beneficial to the people? Is it beneficial to the company? Is it beneficial to the owner of the building? Right? You evaluate, and the time, everything must be also better than your previous occasion, right? So from there, you compile the data, you do a comparison between cost and functionality. How good is your new design? How good is your new cost? How good is your manpower utilization? From there, you do a comparison, and end of the day, you do a presentation to explain the pro and con of the proposed alternative. And what are the owner options? Whether the owner choose A, B, C, A or B or C. So you can see that the value engineering does help you a lot. It's not only on value engineering. You can do value engineering on yourself also. Okay? That means your family. Okay? Let's say now, for example, you take this, you have a project. What should you do? I have a project that you want to get married, right? So your information gathering is your parent, based on your Indian culture. Your parent will look at your zodiac sign, your age and everything, and find a bridegroom that is equitable to you, right? In terms of age, in terms of education, all these things. So your parent will go information gathering. What is the objective of this? To find a suitable bridegroom for you when you get married. And this so-called marriage will last until the day you die, right? That is the objective. Explore the functional analysis, okay? So you look at your functional, you married, what is the changes that you have compared to you as a single person, and compared to later you have 2 persons, maybe 3 or 4 persons. What are the changes you going to feel it during this project? Okay, and What are you need to do? What do you need to do to save money, to buy a bigger house, or whatever? Okay. Then you talk about creativity and innovation. As a person you married, okay, what sort of creativity you and your wife going to do instead of you last time alone? What are the options available, for example? Then evaluate what is the advantage and disadvantage of a marriage. Okay, so all these things go down until the end. You present yourself, you talk to your parent, the pro and con of what you think is a marriage like, and gain the support from your parent. That's it. Okay, and this is very true. Okay, take note. Okay, value engineering example. Value engineering in construction involves looking at many aspects of construction building project, including material, construction method, design need, functionality, lifespan, and cost. Together, all of these contribute to the value of a construction project. When the value goes through the value engineering process, the team seeks to maximize the building value, balancing cost with immediate and long-term function. All right. So you look at all the aspects in terms of material supply, whether the payment of this material, whether it's paid, and 3 months later, then you use your material, or you don't pay until your material used, then you pay. Then you add value to your so-called your cash flow, for example. Construction method, whether you use scientific way or manual way. Okay, the design, okay, instead of using too many design engineer and architect, why don't you use software? You can cut down a lot of manpower need. Functionality, the whole project's structure. You must have a structure that is equitable, that is easy to work with, on the people behavior, etc. Then the lifespan of the project, I think you know, project management have its beginning and the end. And the end of the project, what sort of documentation you prepare, etc., etc. So you calculate the overall cost in each stage of the construction project. So you will know, okay, during the time of based on the master plan, you will know what is the cost when you finish 50% of the master plan, 75% finish of the master plan. How much cost did your company incur? This will use as a reference for your company, okay, in future. All right. So another aspect here, another example, perhaps may look at the specific aspect of information gathering. The team focus on energy that has motivated the initial design. So you are looking at energy, okay, the gathering of information. That means you look at those energy efficient building in Singapore, or let's say you are India, you look at the Indian, which are the company that have a building design in terms of energy efficiency, and you look at it, how they design, etc. From there, you come up with the data, okay? Then you look at the people that you need, the process that you need to change, okay? Then the material you need to change. For example, here, building window may use thicker glass to increase energy efficiency and temperature regulation, but at a higher cost. And this higher cost is worth it in terms of building management, okay? Throughout the creativity and innovation phase, members of the team put forth as many alternative approaches as possible. For example, the team might look into window treatment, special coating, and window placement, and more. Okay, for example, at this so-called energy saving building. Okay, when the team begin to evaluate, right, the goal is to narrow down the list of ideas that benefit and be realistic. For example, moving window may compromise the aesthetic design, so only window coating are considered realistic. So as team work through the development phase, they look at the specific implementation cost and functionality of the proposed change. For example, again, the coating of the window. So you can see that maybe some cost and installation would be cheaper. Right. So finally, you do a presentation, seek the management approval, right? Seek the owner approval, then you go ahead with the implementation. So overall, the process work to identify various ways to improve the value of a construction project, not simply by cutting costs, but also improve functionality. That means the window, in this case, they become better window panel. Okay, you will prevent sunlight from going through, so your aircon will not operate on high energy, right? So all these things you have to take into consideration. Like in Singapore, when building a building, the government or the contractor, or is the designer, the architect, will look at all these aspects in terms of high energy saving. Okay, so this is where value and engineering in construction is all about. Okay, how does it affect the contractor? So we're looking at the contractor outcome when we do this value engineering. Of course, there will be some cost cutting, right? So you can see here, however, true value engineering does not necessarily reduce the contract cost or diminish the piece of work. Creating value often requires owner to spend a little more upfront to reap the reward down the line. All right. What you're trying to say is, when you do something innovative, something creative, it doesn't mean that contractor, they don't need a contractor. They also need a contractor, but we need more value-added contractor, all right, to do the job. Okay, like today you see a lot of factory, they do what? Robotic technology. Last time we used human to do, but now because of robotic technology, automation, all this thing, they reduce the manpower. But manpower cost still maintain the same, because we need to train the production operator to a qualified service technician of robotic technology. For example, now today in Singapore, we are having a electrical vehicle, right? So in future, we're going to have an electrical technician who specialize in repair on the electric car. Now is talking about mechanical, more on mechanical than electrical. Future going to be more electrical than mechanical, because mechanical is functioning by gear system in terms of car, so-called electrical car. Less part to maintain, but more job for electrical or EV technician in terms of looking at the electrical system, make sure it's functional, okay, make sure there's no voltage loss, all this thing. So you can see that it creates a value for the higher level worker. That means from worker, you constantly upgrade until you can get this job, and your pay will be double or 1.2 or 20-30% more, because last time you do the job is more on hands-on, but now you do the job is more on go to your thinking brain, right? So there is a lot of different. This is what we call value engineering. Okay. So value engineering for contractor is in the trust it will build, right? Of course, you're as a contractor, you must upgrade your people. Then you can, okay, tender the job. Okay, this is what happened in Singapore market now. That's why nowadays you go to construction site, you don't see many workers inside. Okay, mostly are engineers, supervisor, skill technician. The general worker category is getting lesser and lesser because of this technology improvement because of this value engineering we are talking about. Okay, people are generally happy to hand their money over what they know to get a real value. So in today's construction, it's like that. So government give the project, they try to minimize the cost, but contractor on the part, they get the job, they have to think way to be innovative, to be creative, that add value to your project work, right? Okay. Any question? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. I'm going to give you one assignment on this. Okay. Wow, student getting lesser. All absent. From 18 now become 16. All run away. No question. Serious.
No, sir.
Okay. No question. And this PowerPoint slide, I will send to Misma and ask Misma to distribute to you for your reading and also for your next the Unit 1 assignment. All right. Next, tomorrow I will send to all of you the assignment plus the PowerPoint. Right. Okay. So this the following subject I don't want to touch on is quite the same as what we are talking about. Okay. Peer network, this one will be done in lesson 4, lesson 3 or lesson 4, right? Oh, we don't talk about it. All this critical path analysis will be in lesson 4 or lesson 3, I can't remember, right? So the cost, break-even cost, right? So as you all know, you have studied account, break-even analysis, okay? Is used to determine the point at which fixed costs have been recovered and profitably begin. That means to say your initial production, initial construction, you have to pay money, right? You pay money until to the extent that your project can finish, say, maybe 70%. Then you see your profit coming in. That is where at 70% of the project work, that is the break-even point. Okay, the break-even point comprises of fixed costs, variable costs, total fixed costs, and price of the construction costs. Okay, so break-even will be equal to total fixed costs, unit price minus unit variable costs. Can be many times. Okay, so this is a graph where it shows that during the construction of a building initially, you can produce up to here, maybe about 50%. That is your break even. That means to say your building is, assume that it's 20 story. The view until 10 story, 50% completion. That is where whatever you don't earn any cent, put it this way. So as you go along up to, say now here example, 90%, you can see the profit is there already. So your total value and your profit getting wider and wider. Because why? Why the initial cost is high and it doesn't make money? Because initially everybody not sure about the project. You have to do the job slowly to prevent any mistake. Right, and the material you are not sure whether it's arrival on time or not on time, and how you pay your supplier, etc. So this work out the detail of the before break-even point. The company have to work doubly hard looking at the value engineering of the whole process to shorten the loss area. That means instead of here, it can drop up to here. Maybe at 30% of the construction of building, you already break even already. Then from 40s, 50s, 60, 100, all is profit. So you have to think about all these things. Okay, example. Right. So this one, when we talk about value engineering, all these things are already done. I don't want to talk about all this. Okay. Class exercise, I leave it to you. I will give you the assignment, not based on this. This one. Cost management procedure during design. You can see all the aspect of it. Okay. Owner specified cost limit, stipulate cost limit. Owner give design, brief and request cost limit. Right. So cost consultant assist designer to prepare forecast of the brief and check again the cost limit, adjust where overrun. So cost consultant assist designer to forecast to set cost limit based on planning forecast, right? So these two compare, and owner and designer agree on the design brief, cost limit, etc. Then they come up with each cost. For example, material cost, manpower cost, etc. Then you group together the design of each element. Then how much does it cost? So this is during the design phase. All right. So you look at the next one is the prepare for each element. That means, for example, construction, manpower need, engineering forecast. They can come up with all these things, right? So generally, if you follow the value engineering, the 6 step, you will arrive at this so-called accepted tender reconcile to detailed engineering forecast format for cost control during construction. That means you add value to what you have to make it more profitable for your company, make it more schedule time have been reduced. Instead of 20 months, it become 19 months. You save 1 month of salary. It's a lot if you talk about 20-story building. Okay? Take note of that. Okay, friend. Any other question? I finished the slide now. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, the PowerPoint slide after this finish, immediately I will send to all of you, and you read through. And the one assignment will be targeted to that PowerPoint slide, right? A scenario given to you, then you write about the few steps, the 6 steps that you want to do, how to do, all right? Take note. Okay.
Yes, sir.
No
Okay,
question. Sir. I will end the class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.